Alright guys, I just want to give you guys a quick update what's been happening with my Airbnb Airstream. For those who haven't been following my channel, shame on you, but I'll just do a quick recap. What I thought of is I have a big backyard and I thought I would make some good money if I just go ahead and buy an Airstream, hook it up to the plumbing, and just rent it out on Airbnb. This has been like a multiple month journey because I had to save up the money to buy this Airstream, go buy this Airstream, and then once I got it, it was very old and vintage and had a lot of plumbing issues. I had to had a hard time finding like a proper RV guy who can help me iron out these bugs. Also electrical issues too, but finally after months of work, thousands of dollars sunk, I think I probably bought the Airstream for around 12K, maybe sunk like 3 or 4K, like in repairs and other stuff, and my time and all this other, all the other stuff. So, the first issue, and actually, I'm gonna be completely honest, this doesn't look good on me at all, and it's actually quite embarrassing to tell you guys about it. But if this information will help somebody else out, whether they want to get an Airbnb or what kind of Airbnb to get, what I mean. That's why I'm telling you guys, just to help people out and be completely honest, about my experience. So the first issue is I did some research and I've been seeing. I live in Boyle Heights, East LA. Los Angeles, kind of like a tourist destination, so there's always be people coming and going here. But looking at my market is, I've seen like a small little like studio little apartments. Those will go for $80 a night. A 3-bedroom house furnished will go for about $150 a night. And if you want a private room in somebody's house, that'd be like about $50 a night. So I thought, because Airbnb trailer, it's you get your own bathroom, you get your own shower, you get your own space. I thought it should be one step above just a regular shared bedroom, because I feel like, yeah, people are cheap, but at the same time, if I'm traveling, I don't want to go to somebody's house where I have to kind of, run into the host or whatever, or I would just much rather prefer to have our own self-contained unit, where I can come and go as I please. Maybe come at 2 a.m. if I go out, drinking with friends or something like that, rather than, if you're going into somebody's house, somebody's bedroom, somebody's kind of keeping track of what time you come in, and kind of you have a chance of disturbing them. So I thought it would be, like a private Airstream in a backyard would go for around $70, $80. My first lesson is maybe not. I've been having a hard time. When I first put it out on Airbnb, nobody would rent it for $80. Then I lowered it to 70. Then I kind of started freaking out a little bit, and I thought maybe my listing was not visible on Airbnb or something technically wrong. So I lowered it all the way down to $30 a night, and then people started booking it. So it's kind of like the first lesson is, don't assume that your Airbnb is gonna be able to be rented for as much money. I mean, I think partly the issue is nobody else has like an RV in this neighborhood, and that's why I can't see their price, so you can only kind of guess. I thought people would equate like a 1-bedroom apartment with like a small RV. I thought it'd be like the same price, comparable, but I guess not. People think that staying in an RV is much more cramped, much more inconvenient, so they're willing to pay way less money for it. But I think the tragedy of that is, not only is $30 a night is way too low, it's almost, if I knew that I will only get $30 a night, that's not even worth my time, or not even worth getting an Airbnb, getting an Airstream. But I think not only the money, but I think the quality of people, it goes down to, I feel like in life, the lower the paying job, the more they want from you, because I do a lot of freelancing, and that's, I tried to do favors for clients before, like, oh, this could be a cool, quick job or whatever. They don't have much money, but I'll just throw them a bone, do them a favor. Don't, you know what I mean? And then you learn a lesson real quick that the less a person pays the more they want from you. And I've worked for places that paid a lot of money for for very minimal effort, and then they were really happy with whatever you give them. So there's that kind of a dichotomy. And so the very first tale I have here is my very first booking, what kind of turned out to be kind of a disaster. I lowered the per night to $30 just to get all the kink, because I figured, I'm just going to get lowered to really low. People are going to be really happy. I'm going to get a whole bunch of good reviews. And then with to build on a whole bunch of good reviews, I'm going to, raise the price later. So I lower it to $30 a night, and then people start booking left and right. And I guess this guy's wife booked it for him. He was going on a business trip, so we got everything ready, bed sheets, fresh towels, soap, everything is good, and then everything's ready. I went to work. I gave him the address, the Wi-Fi password, the code to the back of the gate, so he should be able to get in, no problem. And I'm sitting there working, and this guy text me, he said, hey, I don't have any internet. My internet's not working. Can you give me directions how to get to your house? And I'm already it just hit me like, man, do you think I'm I'm a concierge, out of a 5-star hotel or something? I mean, come on, man, you're renting a trailer in somebody's backyard for $30, It's kind of, I think, I would never to think of bother, the host to give me turn-by-turn directions, come on, man, people have lives. But I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm just gonna, just calm down, don't worry about it. But this is off to a bad start. This guy, seems very needy, so it's I'm just gonna type in here, look up, I'm busy at work, but I'm just gonna crack open Google, Google Maps, and type in directions or whatever. So I give him the directions. He gets into my Airstream. I guess he cranks on the AC, plugs in his laptop, and probably goes to a corner store. Comes back, and I guess he blew a fuse. Now this problem has been fixed, but I guess I didn't know that this was going to happen. But apparently, in my trailer, it had a small electrical fuse box. It only had 2 fuses. And the AC draws a lot of power, so if you crank up the AC, you can't plug in a whole bunch of other devices. Otherwise, you're gonna flip the fuse. However, I knew what happened, so over text, I'm just trying to calm him down, and just say, hey, you just blew a fuse. Just open up the closet door and just flip the fuses, and then the power will come back on. Just turn off the AC. You just can't run too much power in the trailer. He starts freaking out. He says that his day has been crazy. He has been having a lot of problems at work, and everything's going wrong in his life right now. And on top of this, whatever, the trailer lost power, and he's flipping out, and it's kind of already he's like, Jesus Christ, yeah, your day might be going bad, but you don't yell at him, at a person working the drive-thru. It's I felt like I was just a clerk working the drive-thru, and it's just calm down, sir, or whatever. So I was really kind of just distraught about that, because it's this is my first guest, and if he was to leave a negative review, that would kick things off on the on totally wrong trajectory, and already sink my boat before it even starts going anywhere. So I just kind of I'll give you a full refund, just don't worry about it, whatever, So I ended up giving him a full refund immediately. He left. However, the week that he booked was still up there, and I couldn't cancel it because it was the booking was already in progress. So I'm at work. I had to, take time away from work, step into the hallway, get on the phone with Airbnb, and had to there was 2 people I had to talk to, and then they read my correspondence with him. They literally had to call him and just to check on what happened, and then they confirmed the story that this guy just wanted a full refund and whatever. So then they were actually cleared his booking. Otherwise, not only did I give him a full refund, he left, and then my my trailer wouldn't be able to be rented because his booking was still in progress or whatever. So that's one, kind of tragedy. But after Airbnb cleared his booking, I was like, okay, we're gonna start fresh. New guests. Hopefully, these new people. Hopefully he was just like an anomaly. He was just like an uptight person that just a really needy person. So hopefully everybody else is gonna be chill and understanding. So we get these new guests, and they book for the same amount of time again. And we just we tell them that, hey, until an electrician gets here, you guys can't run the AC and too many electrical devices at a time. They're like, cool, everything's understanding, whatever, everything's cool. And then they start complaining that there's like a sewage smell coming from the bathroom. And I guess what had happened, I didn't know what had happened, but basically when the last person that was working on the air, was installing the brand new toilet I had in there, I guess they closed the valve. And if you were to run the water in the kitchen or run any kind of water, that would drain into the ground. But apparently the sewage, the black water that when people go to the bathroom, that's been building up. And so after a while, it became totally full, and they were complaining about the smell. And I got on the ground and saw that the trailer did start leaking, like black water, and then there was flies collecting on it. And I started freaking out again. That was a total nightmare. I called a plumber, and like a 24-hour emergency plumber. This is like on a Sunday. And then they were kind of like, oh, this sounds like an RV issue. You need like an RV repair guy. And obviously, RV repair guys, you have to schedule those guys a week ahead in advance for them to come. And on top of that, even if they come, they can see that you have a certain, like, let's say, if you have your septic tank or some kind of like connection or whatever, like a special RV part, then you would need to order. It would take weeks to get there. So I was freaking out that we would have the sewage smell for weeks, and then I would have to give these people a refund, or they will leave me a bad review. To spare you guys the details, we got it to. I had a plumber come anyway, and we were able to. It was just a switch. We just pulled it, and then we just cleared everything out. And luckily we explained that, hey, I called the plumber. Everything's sorted out, and they were really understanding. They were really nice. They ended up. I think they saw how much effort I was putting into it, how on it I was, and that I wasn't just kind of like, who cares, I actually really cared, and I did call a plumber, and I was attentive to the situation. So they ended up like being really nice and leaving me a 5-star review, even though we had some hiccups. So yeah, I'm still my Airstream is still active. It's still on Airbnb. Even I've been raising the price a little bit, and now I feel like I have one good review. People are booking it at like $49 with a $35 cleaning fee. Maybe it's gonna be like $1,200 or $1,000 a month. Still too low. Almost not worth the hassle, I think. However, it's the reason why I'm doing it is I have two hopes. One is I'm still learning about Airbnb. I'm hoping if I get a whole bunch of actual good positive reviews, I would get people that want to book this thing for months on end or have long-term bookings. So that would be good. So I don't have to deal with showing people everything every day and changing the sheets or whatever. I think I want to go for more long-term bookings. It'd be a lot less hassle. And then I am learning about Airbnb. So my next property that I do want to buy a like a triplex or like a 4-unit apartment complex and convert all those units to Airbnb. Now I'm getting the experience, kind of the knowledge about what people expect when they book. How much effort it's going to take, and I would definitely buy something with. You have to keep in mind. This is what I learned. You have to keep in mind that everything has to be very, very simple. I think no matter what, if you have some kind of like a unique booking, like unique Airstream or trailer or something, or like a tree house or whatever, I feel like you can write all the special directions, instructions in the description all you want, but people are not going to read that. People, I feel like, oh, I'm going on a business trip where I need to be there. I'm just going to book an Airbnb real quick, and boom, here it is. I booked it. People kind of skim the description, and people don't read your special instructions. Almost, imagine if somebody loses like half of their IQ when they get here. You know, my Airstream, you need to go, instead of going around instead of being in the front, you need to go around the back of the house, and then you see the Airstream, and you see the gate, and you can punch in the code. I've texted that to people, I've left it on the description over and over again, but people just show up at the front door and just kind of confused. So I definitely want to keep that in mind. My next Airbnb property is going to be as simple as possible. Here's the apartment complex, here's the front door, just everything very, very standard and simple. Yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted.